talking real loud, spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream.
Right. Excuse me. All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Now, with that all being said, let me see who is in here. Hey, Leon, Dark Tube. All right, Neuro Hustle. Okay, Pearly, Nessa G. Let's get into it. Everyone hit that like button. I see you, Battle Axe. All right, Deronda, the lovely T, Pearly. 6'3" Soldier is here. Muad'Dib. Okay, RG Titan, Buckhorse DC. All right, Trish, I see you, beloved. Bronze Flat Power God, Cyrus. Okay, let's get into it. Everybody hit the like button. Don't forget to like and share. Hey, Sheila. And also, don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed, especially if you didn't receive notifications. Okay, because some of you, I email you. So even if you don't get notifications, you could still be here. Okay, Marquise is here. All right. So with that all being said, I see you with the people. Okay, so likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let's get into it. But before we do, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. All I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she also sells beard oil. Okay, so there's some new information on the Ashley Jenae case, and we're going to get into it. Political Win said, take your shoes off and hit the like button. That's right. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so now first things first, let's talk about the press conference that the police commissioner held. Okay, because stories are changing. The police story is changing. All right, so let's get into it. Now, with that all being said, so
za usiku huko hoteli ya
okay, now so here's the thing. So shout out to Queen Sheba, because last night I saw Queen Sheba's video where she had a woman who spoke Swahili or who understood it. And so she translated everything that the police commissioner was saying. So let's talk about that first. Okay, let's talk about that first. And then let's go to how the story changed. Because if you all remember, when I reported on this yesterday, the information that we had, they were saying that even Ashley's father said that Joe came back, or that Joe found her and then came back. Joe and the security guard found her. That's what it was. If you all remember, because I said, oh, so him and the security guard found her. I thought that sounded kind of convenient, but now we're hearing something else. And also, she was supposedly still alive when she was found. I mean, not just conscious, but kicking, struggling. Okay, so let's get into it, because I wrote it all down. Okay, so first off, she came with her fiance, Joe McCain. Okay, so they arrived at approximately 8:48, and they checked in. They checked in to the Zurich Hotel. Now, mind you, this is something else I don't think we knew. They were previously at another resort before they got to the Zurich Zanzibar resort. They were somewhere else, and that video of her when he proposed to her, that was actually at the first resort they went to. Now, I don't know why they left that resort, but I'm inclined to think that maybe they got into it there and had to leave. I don't know, because now we're finding out that they weren't just arguing once, and the people in the 24th villa, because they were in number 25, so the people in the bungalow next to them could hear them, but they had obviously been arguing the entire time. Okay, that they were there. So anyway, it goes on to say on the 8th of April at 6 p.m., there was a conflict. Now, the conflict was heard by neighbors in Villa 24. They reported a disturbance and they called management. They came and asked, management that is, came and asked what had transpired. They said the couple scuffled and said they had been scuffling ever since the day they checked in. So they were having a serious conflict and a fight. And now management tried to resolve the issue, so they thought it was best to separate them. Okay, that's when they put them in a different room, separate them. They left Ashley in the room they were already in, which was villa number 25, and then they sent Joe to villa number 65, which was about an 8 to 10 minute walk from her villa. Okay, and this had to have been a serious argument for them the neighbors to first of all be hearing it, but also for them to be concerned enough to call management. And like I said, they were saying that they had been doing this every day since they had gotten there. And I believe they had actually gotten there 4 days prior. So arguing for a period of 4 days. Now, it goes on to say the distance between the villas is about an 8 to 10 minute walk. After that, after about a span of 2 to 3 hours, it was around 8 o'clock when she was found unconscious. Now, here's the thing, because I just told you that she was struggling, right? But here's why she was found unconscious. So room service, or the person that they call the butler. So this is a guy who goes around, with fruits and things and trying to see if anybody needs any help or if they need anything for their rooms or whatever. Okay, so this person says that he was out walking And as he was out walking, asking people what they needed, he came upon Ashley and he asked her, did she need anything? And he had like a tray of fruit. So Ashley told him, no, not right now. She said she needed a charger for her phone. Now, I thought that was interesting because I'm thinking she didn't bring a charger with her, neither her nor Joe, because remember, she was in the room that they got initially. So all of her things and his things would have been there. I'm sure he took his things when he went to the other villa, but did he take the charger? And if so, why? Or they didn't have separate chargers. Okay, now just follow me because it may not seem like a big deal, but pay attention. Okay, so then she said, I need a charger. My phone's about to die. But come back in about 10 minutes. Okay, so I'll tell you what I need in terms of service then. Okay, so this was at night and it was dark. So he goes off to finish whatever he's doing, going to see other people and obviously to look for her a charger. Okay, so then he says he forgot to come back with a charger. So it was about 20 to 30 minutes rather than 10 that she requested. It was about 20 to 30 minutes later when he decides to come back. Okay, so he finally remembered to come back. When he returned, he found all the lights were turned off. It was very dark and the door was locked. Now, he thought that was strange. So by the fact that he thought that was strange, and I guess he was concerned, so he says that he knocked and knocked, no one answered. He had a master key. So he opened the door with the master key. I thought that was kind of interesting. So he had to have been concerned if he's telling the truth. He would have had to have been concerned because room service, whomever, they don't usually just open your door, unlock, and come into your room. Okay? At least not in my experiences. Now, with that all being said, unless they're coming to clean up or something like that, but if you've already seen them and you were going to your room, maybe he was concerned because it was dark and she wasn't answering. But anyway, he goes inside. He says that when he went to open the door appeared to be stuck, like he could not open the door wide, like there was something or someone behind the door. Okay, he said it was dark inside. He had trouble opening the door wide. And due to the conflict earlier, he had some reservations. Now, he could not push the door completely open. Something was holding it back. And then he looked and he saw Ashley struggling to free herself. Ashley was struggling to free herself. He says that she was kicking, like she was kicking her legs. Okay, and trying to remove the thing from around her neck, which was what was holding her. And as it turns out, what was holding her was a gray belt to a house robe, like a house coat. Okay, you know you have a belt on your house coat, so that is what was around her neck. Okay, so and he said she was in the closet. Now, I want you to think about this because that's very interesting to me because if you're in the closet at a villa, you're not going to be, hold on. Yep. It is also noted she was a video vixen in several rappers' videos. Right. I do know about that. We'll get into that. Okay. Can I tell the story? Yeah. Joe Budden has said that he knows her and all of that. And so does Kevin Gates, because I did see a video of Kevin Gates with her as well. And then, there was people were saying that she worked as an exotic dancer or whatever. Okay. Anyway, that's all beside the point. Now, the bottom line is he sees her struggling. Okay, then he says he couldn't get the door open. And then instead of helping her, he said he ran away. He said, that's okay, beloved, I'm messing with you. But he says he ran away. Now, if you see someone struggling, it would seem to me, especially if they're hanging by something, it would seem to me that you would try to get them down or whatever. But I think that he knew that Joe was still in that room because he knew about the previous altercation. And mind you, he said because of the previous conflict, he had reservations. Okay, so when he opened that door and saw that it was all dark, couldn't get the door wide open, that's when he said he had reservations. So that makes me think that he was fearful because he thought that this man's in here trying to kill her and he was afraid for himself, or maybe he thought if she, that they would think he did it, who knows? But anyway, he fled to call management. Now, by the time he came back with management, by the time they came back and removed the belt from her neck, and called for an ambulance or called the hospital, she was unconscious at this point. Okay, but here's the thing though. Now think about when you go to a hotel or you're at a resort, the closet is not like the rack in the closet is what she was supposedly hanging from. Okay, the belt was around her neck and then tied to something like the closet rack where the hangers go. So think about that. Does that even make sense? Why would so this is how you know she didn't do this to herself? Because why would she try to hang herself from the closet rack? Also, she was fighting and struggling to get free. Does that look like someone who's trying to take themselves out? And second of all, that's not even high off. That's not even a high enough distance from the floor. You understand what I'm saying? When people hang themselves, they usually stand on a chair and hang themselves from something high and then kick the chair out from under them. But she was hanging from the closet rack. So that doesn't make any sense. Definitely sounds like someone else did this. But also think about what the medical report said on yesterday. If you all remember, in the medical report, I kept saying, if they don't know how she died, how are they saying that it was from hypoxia and strangulation and suffocation? So she suffocated herself. That's reeks of someone putting something over your face. So she definitely didn't do that to herself. That doesn't make any sense. And then also this story about how she was found and they're trying to say she hung herself. Well, that doesn't make sense either. Okay, I think Joe may have been behind that door and he was trying to hold that door shut. I think that's probably what it was. And I also wonder if the butler even, saw him and maybe that's why he ran. Did he see Joe behind that door and then just took off running? I just have several questions. Now, with that all being said, he ran away, called management. They came, untied her, and called the police or called the hospital. Um, and then here's another thing that the police commissioner said. He said for people to refrain from listening to other people, okay, other news sources, and I guess social media. Yeah, he said only listen to him. Okay, he said only listen to him. That's basically what he said. Only listen to the police. But here's the thing. The police are very corrupt there. And I think that the only reason they decided to detain Joe McCann is because of social media. Because the story went viral, everybody was talking about it, demanded answers. Her parents were putting the pressure on, and I think that's why they possibly took his passport and decided to hold him for questioning. Because remember, initially they said, "Oh well, we don't think he did anything wrong." That doesn't even make sense. How do you not think that he did anything wrong? How do you not think that he was somehow involved when they were just arguing? And you had to literally separate them. That's how bad they must have been going at it. Not to mention the people in Villa 24 said they heard them scuffling. That's physical. That's not just shouting and yelling. There was someone moving the tables. So with that all being said, what are you talking about? You don't think that he had anything to do with it. So that never made any sense to me. But now all of a sudden he's in jail and you've confiscated his passport. Okay, according to reports. So anyway, they say Joe was arrested and interrogated about what happened to Ashley. Police won't identify who the supposed butler is that found her. They claimed, yeah, they claimed that they didn't want to, give out his information or whatever. Okay, so here's the thing. Why was there a story yesterday about Joe and the security finding her? Do y'all remember that? In case you don't, let's just go back to the previous video, the interview with her mother and father. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. I thought that was very interesting. Also, let me tell you that he was previously married to another Black woman. Let me pull up this medical report. He was previously married to another Black woman. That all has come out too. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. Jigsaw Joe probably tried to pay the staff off. Well, I absolutely suspect that may have something to do with it because there is a lot of corruption that goes on in Zanzibar. Okay, so now here's the medical report. Still waiting for the autopsy report. Now it says there is an unidentified mark around the neck. No any wounds seen, not pale, not jaundiced. According to the husband, he found she hanged herself on the door. So even in the medical report, it says that Joe found her. That's what it says. According to the husband, he found she hanged herself on the door. And then it says, bilateral chest expansion, no any lesion. There is a tattoo on the left side of chest, trachea centrally located. Pulse is strong and fast. Cold extremities. JVP not raised. First off, when they say cold extremities, that means that she was cold. Now, she wasn't cold because she was dead, because she was still alive when they got her to the hospital. She supposedly passed away while she was there, while they were trying to treat her. And here's the thing. The fact that the butler supposedly, because I don't even know, like some of this story is just real crazy to me. You all tell me what you think. But when the butler fled to go get management and all of that, how long did that take before they came back? Because in that amount of time, they say that she was unconscious by the time they got to her and untied the belt and all of that. So it could have been just a few minutes. I don't know how long it would have taken, what condition she was actually in, but she was clearly struggling and kicking her feet. Now that just doesn't sound like someone who did anything to themselves. Also, this is her last social media post before this happened. And I'm also going to go to Joe's social media because he was posting on the same day that she was found. Now, I'm not saying he posted it after, but he posted on the 8th. Okay, so that's her last social media post right there. And let's remember that her mother said that Ashley called her. And that was on the 8th. She called her mother and said that her and Joe were arguing and they were separated. Now, hold on. Let's go to that initial video with the parents, like I said, because listen to what the father says. I could have sworn yesterday that he said that Joe and the security came. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen. Let me put an overlay on this.
That's what we're trying to find out. I got 2 emails today from the embassy in Zanzibar. They said the investigation is still ongoing. That they have not determined the cause of death yet at all. An investigation is still ongoing and still pending right now. So there has nothing official has been released. That's what we're trying to find out. We just want answers.
What was it that the hotel initially told you guys?
That the person, that Joe McCain, who she was traveling with, had that he had found her and that they had taken her to the hospital.
Listen, I want you all to pay attention to the mother's demeanor. Watch the mother's demeanor and notice how she never really holds her head up or looks directly at the camera. She's looking down and all of that. Now, yesterday I was thinking, because of grief or whatever, but now I think there's something else that I'll tell you in a moment, but just pay attention to her mannerisms.
It's very odd that our daughter is traveling with Joe and we don't hear anything from Joe. To me, that's very odd. And initial call that she got from Joe was 11 hours after something had transpired in the room. And that's very odd. 11 hours later,
11 hours.
something had transpired, and Joe just relayed to Yolanda that Ashley was okay and she was stable and she was okay and don't worry about it.
But that she was at the hospital.
Yes. 11 hours later.
So have you spoken to him since, and what has he been saying?
There has been no communication here. Was there any footage? Did you look at the footage? Did you see the footage? These are things that's very important to us. These are things that can clear everything up. It gives us a timeline. It lets us know what happened. We have not seen or heard or even anything about any kind of footage surveillance. These are things that we need to know.
Did you guys ever think that Ashley had any mental health issues?
I would think that's farther from the truth. If you go to her page, you know, as you can see, she's a beacon of light. You know, she likes being in the limelight. It's like being in the camera. She was an influencer. You know, she loved her family.
Mystery, anger, sadness. It's like a part of me has been taken away.
On April 5th, influencer Ashley Robinson, who goes by Ashley Jenae on social media, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
We believe that they were in love. We believe that their relationship was genuine.
Ashley's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashley called saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashley did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what?
Let's stop right there. How would he have known? Please pay attention. How would he have known that Ashley did something to herself? They had just taken her to the hospital, according to him. How would he know why would he think automatically? Now, just think about this. If this is the woman that he loves and he just proposed to her and he knows her, did she seem like she was depressed? Why would he think that she did that to herself? Why wouldn't he be concerned and be thinking that maybe someone broke into her bungalow and did something to her? He told the parents that she did something to herself. Okay, how would he know that? How would he know that? Nobody at that point knew what had happened.
Happened when, and he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury hotel the couple was staying at called saying Ashley passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashley had an unidentified mark around her neck. They wrote, quote, according to the husband, he found she hanged herself on the door with several question marks.
Sometime Jill went back to the room with security, and that's how they found her.
Ashley was also taken to...
Stop right there. There it is. I knew I wasn't tripping. He said sometime later, Joe went back to the room with security, and that's how they found her. So why were the parents told that Joe and the security found her, but now the police commissioner is, and even the medical report says he found her, but now the police commissioner is telling us that the butler found her. I think that the police are covering for Joe. I think that Joe was in that darn room, that he absolutely did it. Okay, and maybe the butler saw him, like he said, or he didn't say he saw him, but somebody was behind that door. And now I think they're just trying to act like, oh, the butler, found her or whatever, and not saying anything about Joe even being in that room. Something is not making any sense. Okay, do you all hear that? He said that's when he went to the room with security and they found her. But remember what I told you all yesterday? I said, why would he go to her room with security? I said, that sounds convenient. It's like if you're going with security, so now when you pretend that you just found her dead, you have a witness with you. Y'all hear this? Because that sounds real sketchy. But let's continue.
A second hospital who listed her cause of death as cerebral hypoxia by strangulation and suffocation.
She's never done anything that would ever lead me to believe that she would do something to harm herself.
She was not just going to be discarded and forgotten about.
Sure, we're not too sure what happened. That's what we're trying to find out.
Now, here's why I think the mother was looking like that during that interview. Here's why I think that she kept her head down. because one of Ashley's old tweets lead me to believe that her mother put her up to dating that white man because her mother dates a white man. Okay, and also because of what Ashley posted to social media. Let's go to the tweet. Ashley said, this is July the 13th. Ashley posted saying, I already know I'm going to end up with a white man just like my mom. My mom is convinced I'm going to be with a white man just like her. My mom is convinced I'm going to marry a white man. October the 13th, December the 13th, July the 13th. Why was it always on the 13th when she's posting this? That's interesting. I literally just noticed that. Okay. That's interesting. Or am I looking at this wrong? Maybe it's October the 30th. Okay, but either way, her mom seemed to have been trying to convince her or telling her that she needed to be with a white man. Because why would she keep posting that over and over? I think that now her mother feels guilty. Her mother probably feels like her mother probably was telling her, you need to be with this man or whatever, especially by the fact that he had money. So I find that interesting, but hold on. Now, the police commander, he also said that Ashley's fiance, Joe McCann, who was traveling with her, has not been arrested. Now, listen to this. This is before they arrested him, because now they're saying he's arrested and his passport's been confiscated. But this is what they said previously. The commander also said that Ashley's fiance, Joe McCann, who was traveling with her, has not been arrested because he was not in the room at the time she was found. Why would they say anything about him being in the room when she was found? They could have said he wasn't arrested because he's not a person of interest, he's not a suspect, but why would they specifically say because he was not in the room when she was found? Like they wanted to put that out there, let us know he wasn't in the room. I find it interesting. Now, however, investigations are still ongoing. According to social media reports, Ashley had recently gotten engaged to Joe McCann during one of their tourist trips in Tanzania. Now, with that all being said, if he wasn't arrested initially because he wasn't in the room, why is he arrested now? What's changed? Okay, social media outcries. I believe that's it. And I think that the police are not telling the truth. I think that they're hiding something. I think that because this man has money, and we'll get to why I think that so much so in just a moment. Now, it also says there was a disagreement and hotel management made the decision to separate them, placing each in another room. Commander Mapujira explained. He added that hotel staff later contacted authorities after becoming concerned about Robinson's well-being, indicating there may have been warning signs prior to the incident. Warning signs? Officials say Robinson was still alive when police were alerted. She was transported to a hospital for emergency care, but sadly passed away the following day, Friday, April the 10th. This happened on the 8th. And so she died on the 10th. Okay, now, I just find everything strange about this whole thing. I just find everything strange, but let's talk about the police and why I think that the police are hiding something. I think they're covering up for this man. I don't even think they would have detained him or anything if social media hadn't gotten involved. I think they would have just been just fine with letting him leave. And also, they say he has friends down there. But hold on, I forgot the most important part of the story. So let's talk about why they were arguing. So it has been alleged that they were arguing because he was down there cheating on Ashley, because he was down there messing around with other women, having freak-offs, okay? Saying that he was having freak-offs down there with some of those women. And also, I said, well, why would he bring Ashley down there to that? If that's what he wants to go there to do. But maybe he thought Ashley would be down with it. Maybe he thought she would be down with that because she's a video vixen, some say exotic dancer. I mean, he may have met her in the club. Okay, so maybe he thought that she would be down with that and she wasn't. Okay, please pay attention. Now, but here's what they say about the police. I looked it up. I wanted to know about corruption within the Zanzibar Police Department. And yes, it absolutely is a thing. It says corruption involving the Zanzibar police, particularly the traffic unit, is a frequent concern for travelers and residents. Reported issues range from routine roadside shakedowns to more serious allegations regarding criminal investigations. Now, arbitrary roadside stops. Tourists driving rental cars are frequently stopped for document checks or fabricated speeding violations, trying to shake people down to get money. Okay? So that's why this man's supposed to have all this money. That's why I absolutely think that maybe he gave somebody some coins or whatever, and they're just trying to cover things up. Soliciting bribes. Now that's where it gets interesting. Officers often request donations, is what they call it, or lunch money or gifts to avoid fines or delays. Threats of escalation. Now, if drivers refuse to pay, officers may threaten them with court dates, prison, or taking them to a remote police station. High demand locations. Ningui and Kindwa are noted as hot spots where traffic police behavior is more aggressive toward tourists. Okay, so this sounds like there's a lot of corruption going on down there. And then also it says the Zanzibar police are currently facing international scrutiny following the death of American influencer Ashley Jenae, at a luxury hotel in April in 2026. So yes, because of social media, that's the only reason I think they're trying to act like they're doing anything. I don't think they really even want to lock that man up or hold him accountable. I think they're still trying to act as though we don't know if he did anything. Because here's the thing. If you really are trying to thoroughly investigate a homicide or a supposed homicide or whatever, you wouldn't immediately say that the person did it to themselves. You would just say you don't know, or we're looking into it to see if there was any foul play. He never said that. He immediately said that she did it to herself, which I thought was strange. Why would you jump to that big conclusion after you had to have them moved and separated, and the neighbors said they had been fighting ever since they got there? Okay, and I do believe they got there 4 days before this all happened. Let me just check the timeline. Yeah, they did. They checked in on April the 4th into Villa number 25. They were supposed to be checking out set to check out April the 10th. They were supposed to be leaving on the 10th. They set their checkout for then, okay? So with that all being said, her body was found April the 8th at approximately 8:55 p.m. The conflict started April the 8th at 6 o'clock. So almost 3 hours later, that's when her body's found. And you mean to tell me you don't think he had anything to do with it? You mean to tell me nothing to see her, folks? She did this to herself. He should have immediately been taken in for question. He should have immediately been, at the very least, a person of interest. Okay, I just find it all interesting. So yeah, now they're under scrutiny. Now they say investigation competency. Local accounts have questioned the police's ability to conduct forensic investigations, citing a lack of tools like DNA testing or fingerprint systems. So they don't even have fingerprinting systems down there. This man's not even going to end up. This man's going to get off. This is a corrupt police department that has inadequate tools for conducting a thorough investigation into a homicide. They don't even have the stuff for DNA testing or fingerprinting systems. He's probably going to get off. I hate to say it, but he probably is going to get off. Like, this is so crazy. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about his first wife, who he allegedly left when she was pregnant with the second child and had continuous cheating allegations. Allegedly. Look at those eyes. His eyes in every picture to me just look so demonic. Like there is no soul within him. He just looks evil. He just looks evil to me. Mad Dog Jack says he knew exactly where to take her. You see, what I'm thinking now is, I don't think this was premeditated now with the facts that are coming out. I thought it was at first. I don't think that it was premeditated. I think that he got upset because he was down there doing whatever he was doing with those women. Okay, like it's been alleged, down there having all these freak parties and all that stuff. And Ashley wasn't with it and made a big fuss about it. That's why they kept fighting the whole time they were there. And I think one of those fights got out of control. When he went to her room after they'd been separated, you know, to probably try to manipulate her or whatever, try to make her be okay with it or whatever he went to do. And it got out of control and he killed her. That's what I think. I wonder if he ever beat or was violent, you know, or abusive to his first wife. That's what I'd like to know. So with that all being said, let's look at the hotel or the resort they were staying in, the Zanzibar resort, because them saying that she was hanging from the closet, inside the closet on that rack, that sounds real crazy to me. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so we can see how this looks. So we can see how the rooms and whatnot look. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Let me see. How do I get to the rooms? Okay, here's a room. Here's one of the rooms right here, one of the villas. Now, mind you, they also said that the closet was close to the door. Like when you walk in, I think the closet is like behind the door. And so I absolutely think that Joe was still in that room. They also said that this was a low budget resort. And people are saying that this man was going broke too, that he didn't have all this money like he was saying. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's an article about him from a source. I'm going to pull that up. Okay, I'm not I mean, it doesn't look low budget to me. It looks pretty nice. You know. Hold on. Let's go to some of the videos. Let's see here. There's the bathrobes hanging by the tub. Yeah, there's nothing low budget about this to me. It looks pretty nice, if I must say so myself. Okay, it was said that he is a local at the resort, so the employees know. Yes, and that he has friends down there. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely, that has been said. He goes there often. He knows a lot of those women down there too, because he goes there often for these supposed little freak offs or whatever you want to call it. Okay, where he's down there messing around with these women, allegedly. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's go to what they say about him. Meet Joe McCann, the high-flying crypto trader. Hold on. The high-flying crypto trader. Now, here's the thing. This all made me feel like that he didn't have all the money like he was portraying himself as when I read this article. Hold on. Are they closing me out of this? Hold on for a second. Let me see here. What's going on? Okay, it says Joe McCann got into crypto trading, and within 2 years, he seemed to have made it. McCann's fund, Asymmetric, raised money in 2022 from the likes of Mark Andreessen and Circle, and during the crypto boom period that marked Donald Trump's return to the White House. The fund nearly doubled in value, but then things unraveled. They said this man didn't have all that money. He was going broke. Okay. So with that up, oh my God, it's not going to let me read the rest of it. Are you serious? Hold on. Yeah, it's not letting me read the rest of it. It wants me to subscribe. Okay, let me see if I can find another one. Well, I did read it last night, and it basically said that things did unravel and that he made some bad investments in Bitcoin and stuff like that. And he just didn't have all that money that Ashley probably thought he had. And I wonder also, where's that ring? That engagement ring that he gave her, that big, nice ring. Was the ring even real? Because it sounds like he was living a lie. Okay, it sounds like he was putting on airs. Okay, so here's another article about him. It says Joe McCann is the founder, CEO, and CIO of Asymmetric, a modern-day crypto fund. Asymmetric is backed by Mark Anderson, Chris Dixon, and Circle Inc., as well as the founders of Solana, Multicoin, Coin Fund, and many other reputable investors and entrepreneurs. With over 24 years of experience working on Wall Street to Silicon Valley, and with skills ranging from systematic and quantitative trading to fundraising and running a venture-backed open source enterprise software company. McCann's perspective on technology and finance is rather unique. McCann is a frequent speaker on the global conference circuit, actively promoting emerging technologies and relevant business use to bring pragmatism to futurism. Most recently, McCann was a senior director at Microsoft in the cloud and AI organization, focusing on incubations, MA, and startups. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about his funds being low right here. Okay, so with that being said, let's go to his social media. Let's go to his Twitter account. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. We have to thoroughly investigate this. Okay, we got to thoroughly investigate it, folks. Tekacon Jackson said everything glitters ain't gold. Yeah, well, you got that right, beloved. Okay, and matter of fact, most things that glitter are the opposite of gold. Okay, sad truth of the matter. Okay, so here's his Twitter account. Only a fool trips on what's behind them. That's a quote from Iceberg Slim. Okay, he has 104,800 followers. So this was posted, that's an old post. Now, here's what was posted April the 8th. Someone said, "Hey, dude, thank you for your inspiration regarding Claude. I've been reorganizing the back end of my Thailand business, and it's completely AI. I've learned enough to almost have completely a fully working back end. I'm definitely not a programmer, LOL, but this has been really educational and fun. Thank you so much for the inspiration." And then he responds saying, "Another AI success story from a normie." That was on the 8th, and this is on the 7th. Someone posted something and he said bingo. Okay, not much to see here, but what I will say is on his Instagram and stuff, let me go to his Instagram, because they said he never posted Ashley, but she was always posting him. Okay, here it is. Oh, he's made his page private. Yeah, he's made his Instagram private. I find that all very interesting. Let's go to it. Hold on. Okay, Desmond, thank you, beloved. Hold on. As you can see, he's now privated his Instagram. Desmond, you know what? I don't have my phone. My phone's in the shop. You're going to have to send it to my other number, Desmond. Whatever you sent me, send it to my other phone or send it to my email. Okay, because I don't have that phone right now. So with that all being said, why is he making his Instagram private? Anyway, they said that he never posted her and she always was posting him. So I found that also interesting. But I did see he had some done this recently because there was pictures of him and the wife. There were pictures of him and the wife, the ex-wife. Hold on. Hold on, beloveds. Let me see something real quick. Okay, so let me go to some of these posts. Let's go to Joe Budden, what Joe Budden had to say about Ashley. Okay, here it is right here. I'm going to share my screen. Of course, I'm going to use an overlay.
Of the romantic choices. But if that's your homegirl and you love her and they vouch for that person, Ashley and homeboy was at my birthday dinner. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They were at my birthday dinner. And I invited Ashley the last 2 years to my birthday dinner. So this year I made it a point to get on the phone. Like, yo, this is the year. What's up? You gonna make it? And she was on some shit like, yeah, you know, just gotta check with my man. And I know we gotta drop off the step kids and we gotta pick them up from school and they on spring break and this, and I'm on the phone like, oh, for real? Like, yo, you playing stepmommy over there? I'm just saying, like, she wrecked the dude. Like a lot of people have an agenda on the internet. And I know what it looks like with this white guy and this young black girl. She loved this dude. And by all accounts, he appeared to stand none of the romantic choices. But if that's your homegirl and you love her and they vouch for that person, Ashley and homeboy was at my birthday dinner. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They were at my parents'
Okay, so she said she had to check with her man and they got to take care of the stepkids and all of that. He has 2 kids. And the first wife, he allegedly left her when she was pregnant with the second one. Okay, and left her with nothing, allegedly. Okay, allegedly. Now, with that all being said, let's go to this. Oh, and let me just show you all the owner of the resort because remember, they said that he has friends down there in Zanzibar because he frequents it so much. Okay, and it's also been alleged that he knows the owner of the resort, who is, I believe, not Australian. What did they say this man's ethnicity was? This is him. Czechoslovakian. Yeah, that's what they said he is. Okay. So I'm just saying, folks, that's who owns that resort. Okay. That's who owns that resort. I don't know if he's going to get any type of consequences with a corrupt police department. They don't even have the proper tools for forensics and forensics testings, DNA, and any of that stuff. It just sounds all sketchy. But also, the BBC reported that the hotel did not corroborate the police's statements. And I thought that was interesting, too. Let's go to this news report here.
You may have seen the social media posts of Ashley Robinson, the US influencer who died in Zanzibar, Tanzania, whilst on holiday with her fiance. Zanzibar's police told the BBC that Robinson, known online as Ashley Jenae, had attempted to take her own life when she was found unconscious in her hotel villa. So what are the facts? In their latest statement, police in Tanzania said they are questioning her fiance Joe McCann as a witness and are withholding his passport. They had previously told local media that he is not suspected of any wrongdoing. Her family said in a statement that she was taken to hospital, where she later died. Police Chief Benedict Mapujira told the BBC that the couple are reported to have had a disagreement, prompting hotel management to place them in separate rooms. But in a statement to the BBC, the hotel did not confirm the details of the case as given by police. The hotel said it was cooperating with authorities and the US Embassy, but declined to comment further. The investigation into this incident is still ongoing, with authorities awaiting the results of a forensic examination. You may have seen the social media posts of Ashley Robinson.
They had no reason to suspect that he was involved. Yeah, that's crazy, like I said, because if he just got into an argument with her, I just don't understand why you would think he had nothing to do with it. Okay, hold on just a second. It looks like somebody sent me something. Let me see if it pertains to this. Oh, okay. A shout out to Truth Over Everything for sending me this. Okay, so let's go to this video here. Desmond, could you please send whatever you were going to send me to my email, beloved? Okay, I don't know if you heard me, but please send it to my email. I need to know what it is, especially if it pertains to this case.
Be funny, I swear I ain't. White men do not know how to break up with nobody. Either you gonna come up missing or you gonna come up gone. You gotta break up with them in church or something, at the house of the Lord. Don't you try to break up with no white man on vacation, at home. You gotta break up with them at a family reunion or at Disney World in front of everybody. They definitely don't know how to break up with no black woman. They get all that good black and then you try to leave them. You done invited them to the cookout. They got to enjoy all of the black shit that we offer and season their food all good. They licking their fingers and shit after they eat. I ain't did no shit like that before. I ain't finna let you leave them out without a fight. And when you break up with them, make it a clean cut. Don't be trying to go back to the house or I forgot my toothbrush. It ain't just interracial with white men. They doing it to the white women too. White men break up with women like lesbians break up with women. They gonna shoot you, fight you, stump you, whatever they got to do to make motherfuckers stop breathing. And I ain't trying to be funny. I'm dead serious. Look it up. Look up the statistics. I ain't saying don't date them. I'm just saying don't break up with them. You got to be with them for life. Or break up with them at church. On Easter Sunday with everybody there. Ain't one doubt in my mind that that man had something to do with that beautiful young lady's death in Tanzania. Ain't trying to be funny.
Well, he gave a whole lot of examples. I'm sorry, but that sounds about right. That actually sounds about right, especially according to statistics, as he said. Okay, now, with that all being said, and let's not forget this. Y'all remember him, don't you? Same scenario, or not the same scenario, but you know what I'm saying. Turned up dead. And plenty of others. That's just one example. I mean, I could go through the list of stories I've reported on with those things happening. Courtney Clenny being the most recent one. Okay, and so with that all being said, hold on. Oh, let's go to this. Let's go to this because this is what makes me think that Ashley broke up with him and that's why he snapped and took her life. Okay, because I found this video of Ashley just this morning.
All right, hear me out. And maybe this is just me. But I just thought about it because I was driving on my way home. I'd really be ready to cut a nigga off over small shit. Like the littlest thing, I'd just be turned off like, ugh. All right, hear me out. And maybe this is just me. But I just thought about it because I was driving on my way home. I'd really be ready to cut a nigga off over small shit. Like the littlest thing, I'd just be turned off like, ugh.
Now, with that all being said, I find that interesting. Because if she wants to cut a man off over little things, imagine her wanting to cut somebody off if he's doing all that other stuff that they're saying that he was down there doing. Okay, but hold on. Let's go to this clip. Now, this lady, again, is pointing out his evil eyes. Like I told you all yesterday, his eyes just look like a shark's eyes. Like there's no life or no soul behind it.
You can't convince me that he didn't do it. Not only because it's the most statistically likely scenario, not only because the eyes never really lie.
Pay attention. Even this white woman says it's the most statistically logical. Okay? The statistics don't lie.
But also because of this. He retweeted this article saying that his faith in the youth of today is fully restored after reading the best post of the year. I'll let you read some of this title.
It says, blessed is the mind too small for doubt. F the science, F the facts, retard max, your friend group. May the youth, my faith in the youth of today is fully restored after reading the best post of the year. And then it says, most men die at 25, but don't get burned until they're 80 years old. Hold on. Let's let her keep cooking.
But the creepiest part about this article is this. The opposite of soon is noose. If you don't have soon, you're going to noose yourself. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Ashley and her boyfriend.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I'm sorry. Did y'all hear that? He said the opposite of soon is noose. If you write soon backwards, it's N-O-O-S. He said it's noose. Okay, please pay attention. And then said if you don't do something soon, or you're going to noose yourself.
Boyfriend Joe McCann and on a trip to Tanzania for her birthday where he proposed to her. After the proposal, there was an argument in the hotel room where they had to separate them in different rooms. That doesn't happen when you're just arguing. Next thing you know, she is found unconscious in her room. Authorities in Tanzania said that she tried to take her own life, allegedly by noose. Authorities announced that they ruled out foul play, although they have confiscated his passport. So I will keep you updated on the situation, but I hope Ashley and her family are able to get justice.
Okay, let's go to this next video. Now, I'm going to mute this. Hold on. I don't see a mute button on here. Hold on just a second, beloveds. I'm going to go to another video. Let you all look at something else while I check on this, because I need to make sure this is muted. You all know I can't hear the music on my end on this computer. Okay, with that all being said, let's go to this body language expert and what she had to say about his disposition and his body language and all of that.
Several requests to look at the Ashley Jenae situation. She's the influencer found dead in her Tanzania hotel room. Many are speculating that her fiance, Joe McCann, had something to do with it. So let's take a look at him. First, the way a person voluntarily poses for the camera, as well as how they pose with their partner, is often very informative. This man's signature pose is definitely more of a 3/4 angle, or some other configuration where he isn't straightforward with the camera, which lets me know that he isn't really interested in being truly seen. This is going to be someone who prefers indirect and nonverbal communication. I'd expect him to do a lot of maneuvering. That, combined with his intense gaze and tucked chin, indicates that he is also quite perceptive, taking it all in and preferring discretion in doing so. So I would expect him to be more calculated and excellent at reading people and a room. It probably serves him well in business. He is most likely an excellent marksman, great at identifying his target in any context and hitting the mark. And this photo is quite interesting. I think it speaks for itself. He has quite a bit of darkness in all of his photos, but this was one of the more extreme ones. His disposition appears more neutral in his solo photos, whereas when he is with Ashley, there is this darkness and interesting facial expression like a predator that is about to devour its prey. He also appears to be very high in pretty much every photo with her, whereas you can typically tell a person is high on marijuana in the eye area. With uppers like white powder or Adderall, it is most obvious in the nose and mouth area. almost like it opens up their nasal passage in many ways. And oftentimes their lips will be parted as well. He also has that hungry, thirsty look, which typically indicates that a man has an excessive amount of sexual energy and will most likely lack self-control in that department. But you could also consider it as an unsettled look, like they are on the hunt. Given the way he presents, the idea of him being responsible for her passing really isn't far-fetched. What I can see, but I can't really show you, is that this man appears to have many vices and he is committed to them. I'd expect the majority of his actions to be self-serving to feed off his many addictions. Dark spirits like this typically seek naive or forgiving people since it allows them to engage in their various behind-the-scenes activities. She looks pretty and kind, but inexperienced and naive. So she probably saw some signs of his true nature, but didn't necessarily know how to interpret them. I've received several requests to look at the
Okay, so that's all very interesting. His eyes absolutely look just demonic to me. Okay, like I said, like there's no life between them. Now, so what I'm going to do is, I don't know why, but I don't see the thing on here for me to mute this video. I see it on my phone, but I don't know why I don't see it on the computer. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute my volume just in case, okay? Because I don't need any copyright issues. So, but I want you all to look at the pictures because this is just showing how he never posted Ashley on his social media, but he posted other women on his social media, and Ashley was always posting him. Okay, so I'm going to turn my audio off. Okay, so what do you all think about that? He never posted her, not once. But he posted these other women. I find that very interesting. So, like I said, beloveds, I don't think we're going to get to the bottom of this anytime soon. But what do you all think? If you don't post me, it's a wrap. You either hiding something or ashamed of me. Either way, it's over. I mean, exactly. And especially when you've been posting your ex. Okay, I'm sorry. Andrea says womanizer. That's exactly what it seems like. Absolutely craziness. Yep. So listen, here's my question to you all. I'm going to wrap this up, but here's my question to you all. Do you all think that the police are in fact involved in a cover-up and possible friends that he has down there? Because I absolutely think that absolutely something is not right about this whole thing. I definitely think. And I also think that her mother feels guilty for talking her into dating that man. And I think that, and you can tell that her and her mother were close, obviously, because she even called her mother while she was on vacation to let her know, we got into an argument, we had a dispute, and so they separated us. Now, I wonder if her mother pressed her for information because I would have wanted to know. If it was my daughter, I would have wanted to know, what were you all arguing about? Why did it get so intense and heated that you had to be separated? You had to have been yelling, fighting, or something for the neighbors to hear you in the next room or the next villa. Overthought says police involved, hotel workers involved. Okay, I absolutely believe it. Sosa said, yep, the mom is feeling guilty. Wavy Doe said, Tanzania is a place where we aren't even supposed to be going over to. Stay out of these other countries. I can't do it. Also, let people know what's going on. They would have. That would have been my first question, says Selena X. Okay, so anyway, listen, I'm going to conclude the broadcast. What happens is the usual response. Tenny Shree said, was there an suicide? No, beloved. They didn't say anything about that. They didn't say anything about that. And please pay attention because I'm glad you brought that up. No, they didn't say anything about a note. And I find it very interesting, like I told you all, that they immediately jumped to the conclusion that she did this to herself, knowing that these two had been arguing the whole time. They had been there for 4 days, and you argued every day. I'd like to talk to the people in the next villa, in villa number 24. I wish we could hear from them. Okay, I wish we could hear from them. Hold on, let me check something really quick. Yeah, I would definitely like to know what those people have to say. And I also would like to know why they left the first villa and came to the second one. Did they get put out of that one for arguing? I just have so many questions. Now, the family has launched a GoFundMe to help to return her. You know, but I'm going to tell you this. Now that I know her mother was trying to tell her she needs to date white men, now it all makes sense. Because I kept wondering, when we were looking at the video, I kept wondering why her mother was looking like that. You know, why she had that look on her face. And then I just chalked it off to, you know, maybe that's how she's grieving or whatever. So anyway, with that all being said, Ashley Jenae, hold on. Here's an article from the Griot. Ashley Jenae and the ways in which Black women continue to be vulnerable to violence. The discourse around Ashley Jenae speaks to something much deeper about how prevalent violence is against Black women. It says, as more details emerge surrounding the mysterious death of Ashley Jenae, including the update that her fiancé has been brought in for questioning, it is becoming increasingly clear how her case underscores some rather unsettling truths about how vulnerable Black women remain in the pursuit of love. Okay, so on Tuesday, April the 14th, 5 days after the 31-year-old influencer Ashley Robinson was found dead while traveling in Zanzibar with her fiance Joe McCain, police confirmed in a statement that his travel documents had been withheld and that he continues to be questioned by authorities. Earlier this month, the Portland-based influencer was updating her social media as usual, sharing glimpses of what appeared to be a whirlwind destination birthday trip that turned into an engagement. On April 3rd, she posted video footage of the proposal on Instagram. By the 9th, she was found unconscious in her hotel room and rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Authorities initially suggested the death was a self-deletion. In a statement announcing her death on April the 2nd, her family described the confusion and heartbreak surrounding the situation, saying the suddenness, the unanswered questions, and the distance from home have made this tragedy even more overwhelming for our family. And at this time, there is an active investigation into the circumstances surrounding Ashley's suspicious passing. Although we have many questions, we are placing our trust in the officials in Zanzibar and are working closely with them as we seek clarity and answers. You know something else I noticed when Ashley and her mom and dad were being interviewed? Did y'all think it was a little bit strange when they were asked if they thought Joe had something to do with it? They seemed reluctant to say yes. They seemed reluctant to just flat out say they thought he had something to do with it. Now, maybe they didn't want to, jeopardize the integrity of the investigation, but if you just give your opinion, like as to whether or not you think someone's guilty, I don't see how that would jeopardize the investigation. But did you all notice that? Did you all find that strange, or is it just me? RG Titan says, we don't know if the Zanzibar police did a legit autopsy. Okay, Claudette says, you noticed it. Pensilola said they look scared. Nessa G said, yes, I noticed that. Sheila said, yep, it was a long pause. Right. And it's like the father was waiting for the mother to say something. And then when she started saying, well, we don't know. And then that's when he started saying they didn't know. It was just a very strange reaction, in my opinion. I just noticed that. I'm glad you all noticed it too. But so now it goes on to say that they're placing their trust in the officials in Zanzibar and are working closely with them as we seek clarity and answers. Now, even with the latest development, much remains unknown. What has been reported is that Robinson traveled to celebrate her birthday, was surprised with a proposal during a photo shoot with lions, and may have had an argument with her fiance that led hotel staff to place them in separate rooms. The lack of confirmed details has not stopped speculation online. Even Cardi B weighed in, writing, "That girl did not off herself," in an apparent reference to the case. Yeah, Cardi B did say that. Beyond the speculation, a complex discourse has begun to take shape. Some are calling out patterns of violence involving non-Black partners and Black women, raising questions about power in interracial relationships. Others have taken a more reactionary stance, suggesting Black women should avoid certain types of partners altogether. At the same time, many are pushing back, noting that Black women face significant risk from partners across the board, including within their own communities. Now, in many ways, the conversation is circling around a much deeper truth. It has been this easy for people to draw conclusions because the self-deletion rates among Black women have risen over the past 2 decades. Intimate partner violence continues to stand as one of the most pressing health crises affecting Black women in the United States today. More than 40% of Black women will experience intimate partner violence in their lifetime, compared to 31% of white women, and this is all according to the Institute for Women's Policy Research. Meanwhile, the National Center for Victims of Crime reports that 53.8% of Black women experience psychological or emotional abuse, and Black women are at an especially high risk of homicide by men compared with all women. Okay. Authors of an Institute for Women's Policy Research report this. Research from Columbia University, Irving Medical Center, and Columbia Mailman School of Public Health found that between 1999 to 2020, Black women in the U.S. were on average 6 times more likely to be murdered than their white counterparts. In roughly 9 out of 10 cases, the victim knew her killer. Black women are also more likely to be killed at younger ages and in more violent ways, including gunfire. Now, as a scholar whose research examines intimate partner violence, I have long known that there were disparities in homicide rates between Black and white women. This is what Dr. Bernadette Waller, okay, she has a PhD and is a lead author of the study and a postdoctoral research fellow in psychiatry at Columbia, says to uncover the fact that Black women are murdered at rates as high as 20 to 1 is heartbreaking and underscores the urgent need to make substantive structural shifts, she added. Some of those shifts have come through awareness campaigns, advocacy networks, and survivor support systems specifically built for Black women. In 2023, Minnesota established the nation's first office for missing and murdered Black women and girls. 2 years later, Missouri signed a new law into place aimed at tackling the crisis of missing Black girls and women. Organizations like Ujima work to address violence through culturally specific approaches, while policy efforts such as the Violence Against Women Act have attempted to provide broader protections, though some critics argue it still falls short in addressing racial disparities. Now, despite all of this, the cases unfortunately keep arriving. As the investigation continues, Robinson's family remains focused on finding answers. They have also launched a GoFundMe to support efforts to bring her home and cover related expenses. They say Ashley was deeply loved. She was vibrant, full of life, and had so much ahead of her. Our family is completely devastated, and we appreciate the prayers and compassion we have received as we navigate this unimaginable loss. We respectfully ask that any information not directly provided by our family be treated as unverified and not considered factual at this time. With that all being said, I wonder if Ashley's father now knows, due to her post resurfacing. I wonder if her family now know, or if her father now knows about the mother supposedly pressuring her to date white men, and specifically that one, Joe McCann. Okay. So with that all being said, hold on, I want to give you all one more tidbit of information before I leave. It's the Strait of Hormuz open. That should be breaking news. Is it open? I'm going to be back later with the reports on with the updates on the war. Okay, but right now, Desmond sent me something about Julius Malema being arrested and sentenced. Hold on. Say that he's been sentenced to 5 years. Let me see here. For firing a gun? South African politician Julius Malema sentenced to prison for firing a gun. Magistrate hands the opposition figure 5-year term that his lawyers say will be appealed. I find that interesting. I find that very interesting. And have you all been paying attention to all of the things that Elon Musk has been posting about South Africa, just trying to play the victim because he wants to have his Starlink there and they won't let him. And then he's still talking about this genocide and how they're being racist towards white people. You know, it's real interesting to me how Elon Musk, he needs to shut the hell up. Okay, because with all the racism against black people and brown people in this country, okay, at the end of the day, why does he think anyone cares? Okay, and also, how are they being racist? They could just leave. And at the end of the day, the thing is, they're the ones being racist over there. I showed you all 5 years ago, at least, maybe 6, a video of how they don't even allow the South Africans to a certain part of South Africa where it's all white. And you can only come there if you're black, if you're working for one of them. So I'm sorry, he needs to sit down somewhere. Okay, stop trying to play the victim card. You know, they love to try to accuse us of playing the race card and the victim card when these are the cards they've given us. We are their victims of oppression. We are their victims of systematic abuse. Okay, absolutely, we are the victims. But many of them want to play the victim. Okay, and it's just annoying at this point. Specifically, one of the richest people in the world, if not the Elon Musk, really? You're complaining and whining and crying? And if that's the case, if he thinks that's going on in Africa, why doesn't he take his behind over there and do something about it? Instead of whining on X, I would just like to know. Why doesn't he just take his behind over there and go see if he can fix the problem? Okay, all he's doing is trying to, raise racial tensions and spew more division. Okay, that's all he's doing. There is no genocide of white folk over there. And I assure you that if there were, okay, if the world even thought there were, don't you think they would have been doing something about it at the UN? Somewhere, someone would have swooped in to save them. Of course they would. Because the only people that no one cares about having genocide perpetuated upon them is black people and other non-white people, like the Palestinians, clearly. And also the Lebanese, clearly. Okay? I find it all so interesting. With that all being said, I'm going to conclude the broadcast, beloveds. I hope you all enjoyed it. We'll be back in. I'm going to keep you updated on this because I just want to know, is this man going to get what he should have coming to him? And sadly, I just think the answer is no. I just think the answer is no. Okay? Queen, did you see Trump made a black woman the new CEO? Yes. I'm so glad you brought that up. Yes. And that is just to try to, because midterms are coming up. Okay. And just to try to get the black vote. Okay. Just to try to get the black vote. We already know how racist and low down he is. That's not going to work, Trump. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Trump, well, I'll talk about that on the next broadcast. Listen, I'm out of here because I'm going to be back at about 2:30. Okay, 2:30, tune in. Whether you get a notification or not, come check the channel because I'm going live again at about 2:30, okay? I'm going to go ahead and post it. Yeah, we're going to talk about the war updates. And then I'm going to come back tonight because we have to talk about this Epstein stuff. Okay, and this is like too many receipts to talk about all these things on the same live. I cannot be doing 2 or 3 hour lives. Okay, I just can't do it. All right, I have other things to do. So I'm just going to have to come back and talk about the Epstein debacle. And with that all been said, I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. Everyone, please like and share before you leave. That's the least you can do. Okay, and so each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And until next time, peace.
Hit him with that gold all in my skin. God all all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got